Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the world of rare and valuable. The Australian 2-cent coin was introduced in 1966, the year Australia transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal currency system. Decimalization marked a significant shift, aiming to simplify transactions and align with global economic trends. The 2-cent coin was part of this new family of decimal coins and played a crucial role in everyday commerce for decades. Struck in bronze, the coin was small, round, and richly colored with a distinctive orangey-brown hue that aged beautifully over time. The Australian 2-cent coin from 1973 might just be one of those hidden gems. It's not gold or silver, and it doesn't scream wealth. But behind its small size lies a story of national identity, changing economies, and a design that's become iconic in Australian numismatic history. In this video, we're diving deep into the journey of the 1973 Elizabeth II 2-cent coin, from its origins in the Royal Australian Mint to its current status in collectors' circles. Don't blink, because the smallest details hold the greatest value. The 1973 2-cent coin, we must rewind to February 14, 1966, when Australia abandoned the pounds, shillings, and pence system and officially adopted decimal currency. The move aimed to simplify the financial system and align Australia with global trading partners. Two new coins were introduced alongside the cent, the 1-cent and the 2-cent coin, both struck in bronze. While the 2-cent coin seemed modest, it played a vital role in everyday commerce for over 2 decades. By 1973, Australia was still embracing its decimal changeover, and these coins were being struck in large quantities to meet demand across an expanding national economy. The obverse of the 1973 2-cent coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machine. This right-facing portrait became iconic across many Commonwealth nations during the 1960s and 70s. Unlike the earlier coinage showing the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, the Machine portrait reflects a more youthful, regal image, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It signified the continuation of monarchy on coinage, tying Australia's new decimal coins to the tradition of Commonwealth unity. This design was used on Australian coins from 1966 until it was replaced in 1985. What makes the Australian 2-cent coin so distinct is its reverse, a striking image of the frilled neck lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingii, a native Australian reptile that expands its dramatic neck frill when threatened. This bold and creative design was sculpted by Stuart Devlin, the then royal goldsmith to the Queen. Devlin's wildlife-themed reverses gave Australia's coinage a unique and proud national identity. His choice of the frilled lizard for the 2-cent coin cemented it as a visual ambassador of Australia's rich biodiversity. The lizard, poised in mid-flare, reflects defiance and survival, characteristics that resonate with Australia's natural heritage. In 1973, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced 66,200,000 2-cent coins. This was part of ongoing circulation minting as the decimal system matured. The economy was booming, and the coin saw wide use in daily transactions, buying newspapers, sweets, and small groceries. The mintage volume suggests that the 1973 coin wasn't a key rarity on its own, but due to the passage of time, many have since been lost to circulation damage, melting, or abandonment. The coins were minted in bronze alloy, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin, giving them a rich reddish-brown color that deepened with age and circulation wear. Geographically, the 2-cent coin was circulated nationwide across all Australian states and territories, from Queensland's tropical north to Tasmania's colder southern shores. Because of Australia's isolated location and tightly integrated currency system, these coins didn't travel much internationally, unless taken abroad by tourists or collectors. However, they were widely used in Australia's urban centres like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth, especially in coin-operated machines, vending services, and public payphones. In rural and indigenous communities, these coins often represented the smallest unit of commerce, a reflection of the local economy's diversity. In circulated condition today, the 1973 2-cent coin is readily available, but often worn. These coins typically exhibit signs of oxidation, dulling of detail, and surface scratches. Most examples in average circulated grade, VF to EF, very fine, to extremely fine, are worth between $0.10 to $1 AUD, depending on condition. However, coins with full detail and rich color, especially those with an even tone and minimal wear, can fetch more among hobbyists seeking specific dates for type sets. The coin's value increases in bulk lots, or if presented as part of a historical collection. In uncirculated or mint state, the 1973 2-cent coin becomes more appealing to collectors. Coins graded MS65 or higher, with sharp relief and original luster, are scarce due to the volume struck for general use rather than for preservation. An uncirculated 1973 coin in top condition can fetch between $5 to $25 AUD, with prices climbing for slabbed coins certified by PCGS or NGC. Proof versions were not issued in 1973 for public sale, but high-quality strikes from mint sets may exist in collections. These are especially prized if they feature deep mirror fields and flawless detail. The 2-cent coin was officially withdrawn from circulation in 1992, alongside the 1-cent coin, due to the rising cost of bronze and reduced purchasing power. Yet, the 1973 coin continues to captivate collectors, not for its face value, but for its artistry, historical context, and nostalgic appeal. It represents a unique period in Australian history, an era of transition, growth, and creative design. In coin jars, family heirlooms, and numismatic albums, the 1973 2-cent coin still echoes with the clink of commerce and the spirit of a nation redefining its identity on the world stage. So next time you come across an old 2-cent piece, especially from 1973, don't just toss it aside. Hold it up, look closer, and remember, even the smallest coin can hold the biggest stories. If you want more deep dives into Australia's decimal era coins, rare mint errors, and the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II in Commonwealth currency, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. You never know what treasure lies in your pocket change. The 1989 Australian 2-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is more than just bronze. It's a tangible relic from the twilight years of a coin that once jingled in every Aussie pocket. In this video, we dive deep into the story of this modest, yet meaningful coin, its origins, circulation, and hidden collector value. The Australian 2-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, the same year Australia transitioned to decimal currency. It replaced the old pre-decimal halfpenny and was part of a major overhaul of the country's currency system. The 2-cent coin, along with the 1-cent coin, was minted in bronze and became a common sight across the country. By the time we reach 1989, the 2-cent coin had been in circulation for 23 years. However, its days were numbered. Rising production costs and decreasing purchasing power were signaling its eventual withdrawal. The 1989 issue became one of the last standard circulation years before the denomination was ultimately discontinued in 1992. On the obverse, the 1989 2-cent coin features the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the acclaimed British sculptor Raphael Makhlouf. This portrait was introduced in 1985 and is noted for its more regal and stylized depiction of the Queen compared to previous effigies. The Makhlouf portrait was used until 1998, and its appearance on the 1989 2-cent piece ties the coin to a specific era of Elizabethan imagery, graceful, refined, and distinctly 1980s in style. The legend around the effigy reads, Elizabeth II, Australia 1989, anchoring it firmly in both monarchic and national identity. The reverse side of the coin showcases one of Australia's most iconic reptiles, the frilled neck lizard, artistically designed by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The animal is mid-pose, frill extended in a defensive display, giving the coin a dynamic and unique aesthetic. Devlin's work emphasized national fauna, and this lizard became a symbol of Australian wildlife for millions. The minimalist inscription, too, denotes the denomination, making the coin both artistic and functional. It's this reverse design that makes the coin a favorite among collectors and wildlife enthusiasts alike. In 1989, the 2-cent coins were minted exclusively by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, Australia's primary minting institution. No other mints were involved, and there were no mint marks on regular circulation coins. The total mintage for the 1989 2-cent coin was approximately 66.6 million, making it relatively common. These coins circulated across all Australian states and territories, from the bustling streets of Sydney and Melbourne to the more remote reaches of the outback. Even though the coin had a wide geographical spread, its purchasing power had diminished significantly by the late 1980s. In circulation, the 1989 2-cent coins were used heavily, leading to common signs of wear, smooth edges, flattened relief, and a darkened patina from thousands of pocket exchanges. Today, most surviving specimens in circulated condition hold only nominal collector value, around 5 to 20 cents depending on grade. However, uncirculated and mint condition examples are more valuable. In pristine mint state, MS65+, these coins can fetch $3 to $10 AUD, and even higher if graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Special mint sets from 1989 also included the 2-cent coin, and these uncirculated versions are highly desirable for set collectors. By 1992, the Royal Australian Mint stopped producing 1 and 2 cent coins for circulation due to high production costs. The 1989 issue is thus part of the final chapter of this iconic denomination. While it's not exceedingly rare, the coin has taken on a nostalgic and historic significance. Collectors today seek it as part of a complete decimal set, or as a representative of Australia. Cent coin from 1974 could open a window into the rich history of Australian currency, and even hold hidden value for collectors. Join us as we uncover the story behind the Australian 1971 Elizabeth II 2 cents coin, its origins, where it was minted, and why collectors around the world still seek out pristine examples of this small but mighty copper treasure. In 1966, Australia made a monumental shift from the imperial pound system to the decimal system, ushering in a new era of currency. Among the newly introduced coins was the 2-cent piece, which quickly became a staple in everyday transactions. By 1971, the coin was in full circulation and had become one of the most familiar denominations in the country, featuring a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. This coin is a reflection of Australia's ties to the British Crown and its identity as a Commonwealth nation. The 1974 2-cent coin was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the nation's primary minting facility since 1965. Unlike other Commonwealth nations that sometimes outsource their coin production, Australia took pride in minting its currency domestically. There are no known foreign minted versions of the 1971 2C coin, which adds to its uniformity, but also narrows the scope for rare mint variants, though quality and condition play a massive role in collector interest. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the reverse of the coin features a frill-necked lizard, a uniquely Australian creature known for its defensive posture. This design beautifully showcases the country's commitment to representing its biodiversity on coinage. The obverse shows the young laureate effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machine, which was used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984. This effigy became iconic across many Commonwealth countries during this period. The mintage of the 1971 Australian 2-cent coin was 71,302,000, making it a common coin in circulation at the time. It was widely used in everyday commerce, from local grocery stores to school canteens, and likely passed through millions of hands. However, despite the large mintage, uncirculated and high-grade coins are increasingly scarce, as most examples suffered from wear and tear. The coin was struck in bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin, a composition that aged gracefully but developed patina over time. While circulated examples of the 1971 2C coin are easily found in old jars and coin boxes, mint state coins, especially graded MS65 and above, are far less common. The Royal Australian Mint also issued limited proof sets in 1974, which included the 2C coin in stunning mirror finish. These proof coins were not released into circulation and were struck using specially prepared dies, resulting in sharply detailed designs. Today, proof versions of the 1974 2C can fetch considerably higher prices among collectors, especially when housed in their original RAM packaging. Though the 1971 2-cent coin is not classified as rare, its value can spike depending on condition. Circulated examples are generally worth around 5 to 50 cents, but uncirculated and proof coins can reach $5 to $20 AUD or more, especially when professionally graded. What makes this coin more interesting is its growing nostalgia factor. As the 2-cent denomination was withdrawn from circulation in 1992, making all such coins officially obsolete. Today, they are collector's items, remnants of a pre-digital, analog cash economy. Conclusion: a tiny time capsule. This humble bronze disc is more than a coin, it's a time capsule. From its depiction of unique Australian wildlife, to its connection with the global reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the 1971 Australian 2-cent coin continues to intrigue collectors and historians alike. Whether found in an old drawer or a prestigious coin slab, this coin reminds us how everyday objects can carry the weight of history. So the next time you come across the next step, 1969 Australian 2-cent coin carries a story far richer than its face value. With a design crafted by one of the country's most celebrated sculptors, ties to a transformative period in Australia's economic history, and intriguing mintage statistics. This tiny piece of copper-plated metal tells a tale of national identity, artistic brilliance, and economic transition. Join us as we explore the history, production, and hidden numismatic potential of the 1969 Queen Elizabeth II 2-cent coin, a coin that once jingled in nearly every Australian's pocket. To understand the 1969 2-cent coin, we need to rewind a few years to a pivotal moment in Australian history. In 1966, Australia underwent decimalisation, a dramatic shift from the old imperial currency system to the more modern decimal-based one. This marked the birth of the Australian dollar and cents. Out went the pounds, shillings, and pence. In came a cleaner, globally aligned system. Among the fresh denominations was the bronze 2-cent coin, introduced as a direct decimal equivalent to the pre-decimal 3p. By 1969, the decimal currency system had been firmly adopted, and minting of these low-denomination coins was in full swing. The coin we examine today was struck in the third full year of this new era, a time when Australia was embracing modernization while still holding on to its deep-rooted British heritage, evidenced by the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gracing the obverse. The 2-cent coin's design is a numismatic masterpiece. On the obverse, the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II is the work of British sculptor Arnold Machin. It is instantly recognizable across the Commonwealth. Elegant, serene, and formal. But the reverse is where the true Australian identity shines. Designed by Stuart Devlin, goldsmith and official jeweler to Her Majesty, it features the frill-necked lizard, an iconic Australian reptile. This creature, frozen in mid-display with its frill flared out, symbolizes the wild, untamed beauty of the Australian continent. The design was revolutionary for the time. Not just a static animal representation, but a moment of dramatic movement captured in bronze. Devlin's work stood out for its energy, and this lizard would become one of the most beloved images in Australian coinage history. The 1969 2-cent coin was struck exclusively at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the country's primary minting facility established in 1965. Located in the capital city, the mint was at the forefront of Australia's currency transition, using state-of-the-art machinery to roll out the decimal coinage. In 1969, no other branch mints like Perth or Melbourne were used for the 2-cent coin's production, centralizing all output in the heart of the Australian Capital Territory. A staggering 79,760,000 coins were minted in that year, suggesting it was a year of strong circulation demand, possibly due to economic growth and increased transactional activity. The 1969 Australian 2-cent coin was composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, forming what's known as bronze. This warm-toned alloy gave the coin its distinctive reddish hue, a perfect backdrop for the intricate lizard design. The coin measured 21.59 mm in diameter, weighed 5.18 grams, and had a plain edge. Its size and weight made it a familiar, everyday coin, used in everything from buying milk to paying bus fares. It had no mint mark, as was customary for circulating decimal coins from the Canberra Mint during that time. In circulation, the 1969 2-cent coin was extremely common. Australians used it daily, and because of its durability, it remained in active circulation for decades. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, the 2-cent coin was part of every child's pocket money and every cash register drawer. But by the 1990s, inflation had slowly eroded its purchasing power. The coin, like the 1-cent piece, became less relevant in the economy. In 1992, the Royal Australian Mint officially ceased minting both denominations for circulation, although they remained legal tender. Thus, the 1969 2-cent coin serves as a time capsule of an era when cents still held real buying power. Although the 1969 2-cent coin was primarily struck for circulation, uncirculated versions exist, primarily from mint rolls that were never opened or from collector hoards. These coins exhibit a rich, even bronze tone, free of bag marks or wear, and are highly desirable to collectors today. The Royal Australian Mint did not release a proof set in 1969, meaning no officially struck proof versions of this coin exist for that year. However, if you come across a coin with an unusually sharp strike, mirror-like finish, or flawless detail, it may be a mint error or an exceptionally preserved business strike. In circulated condition, the 1969 2-cent coin holds minimal monetary value, typically ranging from 0.05 to $0.50 AUD. However, uncirculated specimens in near-perfect condition can fetch $5 to $15 AUD, depending on color, luster, and strike quality. Coins with full original mint red color are especially desirable. Additionally, mint errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks, can significantly boost a coin's value, sometimes selling for $50 or more, depending on rarity and condition. As of now, the 1969 2-cent coin is not considered rare, but high-grade examples are becoming harder to find with each passing year, making it a coin to watch. Though demonetized for daily transactions, the 2-cent coin remains a powerful icon in Australian numismatic history. The 1969 issue, in particular, represents a time of post-decimal transition, national growth, and artistic innovation. It's a piece of copper that tells the story of a continent's evolution, proudly displaying its native wildlife beside the reigning British monarch. Whether you found one in your grandparents' coin jar or tucked away in an old change purse, the 1969 Australian 2-cent coin isn't just pocket change. It's history, heritage, and art pressed into metal. So, next time you come across a 2-cent coin, especially from 1969, don't overlook it. Flip it over, study that iconic lizard, and think about the era it came from. And if you love stories hidden in your coins, like this one, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other deep dives into world coin treasures. There's more copper, silver, and gold where that came from.